Hey Spooksters! Jess and I just want to wish you all a very happy holiday season for those that celebrate, and a happy end of the year. For the next 2 weeks, we will be having vault releases that are New Year's Eve themed. In this episode, we discuss New Year's Eve superstitions and also give you a movie recap. Jess and I are so grateful for each and every one of you, so thank you so much for tuning in to us every week and being with us through the years. But with that, let's go ahead and get into this episode.
Warning. The following podcast, which contains strong language and mature content, is unsuitable for children or for the faint of heart. The subject matter discussed will be frightening and graphic in nature. Listener discretion is advised.
When you wanna hear about the paranormal, you get the Spooksters. True crime that makes you hypothermal. With the 3 spooked girls, stabby snippets will give you dreams. Tara and Jessica will make you along with the spooked girls. Bring on the slaughter, we on that haunted ground. The 3 spooked girls.
I have supposedly, according to Country Living, 15 of the best New Year's superstitions, and I always love this cheesy ass shit, so you get to listen to me read about it.
I'm excited.
So, number 1 is the kiss at midnight. They say it may seem like kissing someone at midnight is a way to show your excitement for the new year, but actually it's thought that if you kiss someone you love it when the clock strikes midnight, those sentiments will continue for the next 12 months.
Aww.
So it'll bring you good luck with your love.
I just watched like a little segment of why Joey Tribbiani is the best wingman ever, and it's the episode of Friends where like Chandler and Monica want to kiss at midnight, so Joey like runs around getting everyone to kiss each other so that they can kiss.
Oh,
like he is the best wingman and best friend ever. That's so nice.
It's for real. I have to say, I don't know if I've ever legit watched a full episode of Friends. Not like that I have anything against it. It's just like every time in the past I've tried to watch it, my life was chaotic because like the last time I tried to watch it was 5-6 years ago. So that's like one of the shows in 2020 that I want to watch. That's like already a thing.
You need to watch it. It's definitely worth it.
I will.
I don't know. I think Friends was probably one of the very first sitcoms I actually like fell in love with and watched. It's pretty great.
Mm-hmm.
And they have really funny like episodes that are like themed, and they have a few good New Year's ones.
Nice. Okay, so number 2, and I've never heard of this one. So the number 2 is eat 12 grapes at midnight. This food superstition originated from Spain and is meant to bring you good luck for the year ahead. So 12 grapes, 12 months of the year. So you get luck per month. So if you don't have 12, then I guess you got a couple months you're not going to be. So you better go buy some.
Oh my God. Yeah. I didn't know that. I'm going to have to get some grapes.
Right. And then they have like a cute little picture that's like, put it in, your wine or like a cocktail garnish. It's like
12.
Okay. Yeah. It's like this big, it's like a wine glass, but I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be like champagne in it, but it's like this big ass skewer. I'm like,
I mean, I'm not mad at that idea. I mean,
right. I know. I like frozen grapes and wine. That's good. That's good. Okay, number 3, fill your cupboards. Check and see what grocery stores are open on New Year's Eve because it's considered bad luck to start the new year with bare cupboards. This signals poverty and hardship.
Oh, good. That's why I never have food in my house all year long. It's because I never have food in my house on New Year's Eve. Got it.
Number 4, put cash in your wallet. Want to enter your year full of financial prosperity? Then run to the ATM so you can fill your wallet with cash. Also, do not loan out any money on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, and don't start the year with any unpaid debts. You could set the precedent for the months ahead.
Well, then.
Well, I mean, all right.
I mean, I never thought about that, like the whole lending money thing. Like I've always heard like the don't let the year, like pay your debts before the end of the year, but I've never heard the.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Right. Ooh, I like this one. And I think a lot of people will too. Number 5, don't clean the house. They say if you're concerned about sweeping or washing away any luck coming your way, do not do any cleaning, including dishes or laundry. I think I can be lazy these days. Okay.
Please no one tell my husband. Those are 2 of his tasks, and I always end up having to do them. So nobody tell Thomas.
I like this one too. Number 6, open the doors at midnight. Actually, just before midnight, so that way you can let the old year out and welcome in the new one. And it doesn't have to be long. It's just kind of like really quickly for the vibes and all of that.
At this point, we're like kissing someone at midnight. We're opening and closing doors. We're eating grapes. We got to make sure we have cash in our wallets. Like,
yeah,
essentially, the stroke of midnight.
You're busy as fuck.
You are busy.
Yes, you are.
Oh, God.
So number 7, don't cry. Save your tears for another day because crying on New Year's Day could set a year of sadness into motion. Number 8, eat collard greens and black-eyed peas. If you want to keep with Southern tradition, eating black-eyed peas and collard greens on New Year's Day will supposedly bring good luck, prosperity, respectively, in the months ahead. And they even give you some recipes. Ooh.
Yeah, and if you lived in my house, you also had to eat a Cornish game hen.
Ooh, I can get behind that. That's cool.
Yes, stuffed with wild rice.
Yum. I like it.
It was delicious. Ooh, I bet I could fit 2 in the Instant Pot.
That's such a good idea. I'm going to have to look that up when we're done.
Yes.
Number 9, do not leave the house until someone enters from the outside first. And who that person is will supposedly say a lot about the luck you'll have in the new year. In Scotland, the first person in your home also has to bring you a gift.
I would like to be in Scotland.
Right? I'm going to adopt that. So number 10, skip eating lobster. You might want to rethink any fancy New Year's Eve food ideas that include lobster. Many cultures believe eating lobsters before midnight is bad luck since they move backwards, therefore setting yourself up for a year of setbacks.
Got it. So need to cancel my main lobster order. Yeah, no, we're going to eat Cornish game hens.
Yeah.
Unless if I host a New Year's Eve party, I have been told that I overcook. So,
Aw.
Yes.
Number 11, make some noise. You may love buying noisemakers and fireworks to set off at midnight anyway, but did you know that the tradition originated from the superstition that making loud noises at midnight would scare evil spirits and omens away?
I did know that.
I did not know that one. Interesting. I like it. Oh, I don't like this one. Number 12, eat herring. Whether you like your herring pickled or not, eating in some form at midnight is considered good luck in Germany and Sweden.
We're going to pass on that because we already got grapes.
We got grapes and our game hens.
And we got to kiss people. Like, we can't have fish when you kiss people. We're not Jennifer Lawrence. We're fine.
Yeah, right? Number 13, carry an empty suitcase. It may just be around your house for a few minutes, but in Colombia, it's seen as setting up yourself for adventures for the new year. Okay, I'll pick my suitcase up.
God, we're so busy.
You can open the door before midnight, gonna kiss your husband, gonna shove some grapes in your mouth, run up and grab the suitcase, run around your house, put it back, and then
eat some herring.
No, we're not eating herring.
Oh, that's right.
And we're gonna make some noise at the same time with the suitcase because we can bang the suitcase because it's empty.
Oh yeah, there. We were helping you guys out. You guys have plans. What?
I don't know if this will affect our game hen thing. So number 14 is beware of eating chicken. Similarly to lobster, chicken is also a superstitious food to eat on New Year's Eve. Since chickens have wings, all your luck could fly away.
I don't know if a Cornish game hen could fly away. Their wings are like this big. They're like an inch long.
They're tiny. Yeah. They're built kind of like a porg.
They are built like a porg.
Which is what we called them when we watched Star Wars. When we watched movies on Star Wars days, we were like, we're eating porg. And we cooked those and made lightsabers out of pretzel rods with like chocolate and did different colors and stuff.
Why was I not invited to Star Wars Day at your house?
I don't, because that's kind of a bit far for one day, you know.
I mean, that was freaking crazy.
Yeah, we make it a whole thing. Number 15, were you born on New Year's Day? Then Superstition says you'll automatically be lucky throughout your whole life, even more so if you're born at midnight.
Our dear friend Mikey was born just after midnight on New Year's Eve. He was the first baby in the county we grew up in.
Wow, I did not know that. Fancy.
Yeah, and they gave him a scholarship and everything.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Right. No, it's a big deal to be born like the first baby in your area.
Wow. If you guys, anybody listening is a New Year's Day baby, New Year's Eve baby, whichever you want to call it. I guess day if it's after midnight. Or your kids are lucky people, apparently.
Yeah.
Is what the article says. But yeah, that's my list of folklore, superstitious, New Year's Eve extravaganza stuff for you guys. I was reading it earlier and I was just like, this is fun. So it got added in.
That is fun. I'm just surprised at like how much, like, if you were to do all of this, it would take you quite some time.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to have to show Matt that and I'm going to be like, this is our challenge. Let's see what we can do.
That should be a challenge. Patrons, if you would like, you should film yourselves trying to do as many of these as possible.
Oh my God. Yes. And we'll send you a surprise, whoever does the most. There we go.
Mm-hmm, we'll figure it out.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Do it. Okay. So now it's movie time.
It is movie time. Oh, this movie time.
Oh God, this movie. So this was my fault. Sorry.
No, it totally is Tara's fault. Well, it was kind of your fault, and then kind of I just made a decision about it.
Yeah.
Without researching it.
This is true. Same.
You're welcome.
Yeah, right? So we wanted to do, since we did Home Alone for Christmas, we wanted to do something fun like this for New Year's Eve time frame. And then, next month we'll be back to normal. So I suggested the movie from the Hulu Into the Dark series, New Year, New You. And Jessica was just like, okay, let's do it. So here we are with that.
Yes. Here we are with this.
Yes.
Okay. I want to say, if you have zero expectations of this movie, you might possibly have it in the background while wrapping Christmas presents and be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not a serious watch.
Definitely not. It is not a serious watch. It's so confusing. Like, there's still some things that I'm going to be like, Tara, I must have missed something.
Okay.
Our story begins on New Year's Eve, where 4 high school best friends are coming back together after 10 years of not really hanging out with one another.
Oh my God. 3
of them are normal fucking human beings. And then the 4th one, her name is Danielle Williams. And she is Get Well with Danielle. She's a YouTuber. And she has a side hustle with these like good for you juices, which are probably more sugar than, It was like very berry vegetable juice. And I was like, okay, writers.
Great creativity there.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Very, very good. So she's this content creator and there's 3 other girls. It's Alexis, who goes by Lexi, Kayla, and then Chloe.
Mm-hmm.
They're all kind of different people. But the weird thing about Alexis is she has this like scar on her face.
Yeah, like a gnarly scar. Mm-hmm.
And we open up, we're watching, like, the very first scene is you're watching the YouTube video of this girl. And then it kind of, like, pans out and you realize that, like, this tween is watching it and this woman is next to her and it's, like, her babysitter. And the tween is just, like, really unforgiving. Like, you were best friends with Danielle in high school? What was that like? Oh, my God, you're amazing. I loved her. I love her. She's perfect. Like that.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, you wanted to be an actor too? Why did you stop? Is it your scar?
Yeah. I was like, damn, coming in hot with these questions. Shit.
Okay, tween.
Right?
So basically the story is that Alexis has told her friends that her parents are going to sell this like massively huge house. I mean, it has a fucking sauna in it.
Mm-hmm. It's an insane house.
Right. And that they're all going to get together and they're going to hang out and have one last New Year's Eve, which it was kind of like something they probably did in high school.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have one last New Year's Eve in this house before the house gets sold. And Alexis reaches out to Danielle to see if she will slum it with them for the holiday. So Alexis, she hosts. Kayla and Chloe are friends and they're on their way. And Kayla's apparently has a crap car and it breaks down and they have to walk a little bit. And they have these Mylar balloons that are like 2019. So I'm assuming this was like last year.
Yeah, I think this like was part of the New Year's Eve for last year, but I didn't see any new ones. So,
oh yeah, the original air date for this was December 28th, 2018. So,
oh, okay. So in our time, this year's hasn't came out yet.
no.
Gotcha.
So they get there and they set it up and they're blowing up balloons and they're basically arguing whether they think Danielle is going to come because Danielle is now this super rich and famous influencer, which is like perfect.
She's friends with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, they hang out. He likes her juice.
Oh my God.
So they're all, hanging out and Danielle shows up and then they eat dinner, but somehow Alexis cuts her finger because Danielle's talking about her perfect life.
Oh yeah, so she's like angry chopping. She's just pissed.
And cuts her finger and then she goes into the bathroom and punches the mirror. So you're kind of starting to think that like Alexis isn't totally there upstairs.
Yeah, so you're like, okay, something's up with this bitch already.
Right, because they also make another mention that she, what was it?
Oh, yeah, because it's right before she gets there. They're like talking about how she's supposed to have a TV show and it's going to start in the spring and da-da-da-da-da. Because Chloe is fangirling over her, basically.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
And Alexis is like, if she makes it to spring or we'll see, like some kind of like vague comment being like, we'll see about that. Whatever,
Right. And just before that, they were talking about her, like, because I guess Alexis dropped out of school.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, because of my mental breakdown. They're like, it's not a mental breakdown, but I really think it was a mental breakdown.
Yeah.
So Danielle's is like kind of like a self-help guru. Like she's one of those people who like look at you and be like, be the best you can be. You're awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just people who are like, oh, yes, I want to be that. And she's pretty. And so, she's like, oh, this is my group of friends, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So they're there and they're hanging out and they have dinner and Alexis is being weird and like it pans creepily over to the clock, which is reflective. So you can see like Alexis looking at the clock because that's not fucking creepy at all.
Right.
And then they're drinking and they decide, oh, I know what we're going to do. We're going to go sit in the sauna with face masks on and drink champagne because that's totally a typical girl's reaction. Like that's what people do in their homes.
With their creepy sheet masks.
And if you totally sit in a sauna in your house, invite me over because that sounds awesome. But like I'm going to hate at it because I don't have a sauna in my apartment. So going to throw that out there. So they're doing that. Everything seems to be going really well. Like, because it kind of just looked like she was jealous of Danielle. And they're kind of getting over that. And then they get together and they're hanging out in their PJs. And they do this like dance to the song. What is that song? Like,
I don't know.
God, it was popular a few years back. Like you can get a new nose. Basically about like you could make yourself pretty if you wanted to type thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was popular a while back. And they did like their 8th grade dance recital to it. And so they were doing it. And there's like this creepy moment that they're looking in this like weird mirror that's just like a bunch of little squares. And like you can see Alexis's face and then you can and she's like spacing out.
Ugh. Yeah.
And then you just look over and you see Danielle like staring at her.
Oh, yeah. That was so creepy. I was just like, I don't like that.
Right. At that point, I'm like, who's the psycho one right now? Is it Danielle or is it Alexis?
Right.
So then they do what all girls do, which is play Never Have I Ever, which I think I've played like twice in my life.
Right.
And they're drinking their champagne and their fancy ass glasses. And, they're doing like Never Have I Ever. Like, I think they were making a joke about a Palm Springs. Oh, what do they call it?
Like weird encounter thing. The nod.
Yeah. It was basically ended up being like about a threesome about this guy that nods. And that actually part I laughed really hard at because I thought it was funny because they're like, what else does a nod mean? And they're like, hello? And she's like, we were naked. Like, what? It meant let's have sex. So I was like, that makes sense because they were naked and two of them were having sex. So, And that was like Chloe's thing. So she had to drink. And then they're like, Alexis was like, never have I ever not brushed my teeth, because apparently Kayla's like innocent, doesn't do anything, so that they wanted to get her.
Mm-hmm.
And then Alexis goes super fucking aggro and is like, never have I ever hooked up with a celebrity. And they basically like force her to basically say that she had a fling with Elon Musk.
Yeah.
But she doesn't come out and say it. She's just like, electric cars.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, I had to sign, like, basically saying that she could never tell anyone that this happened.
Yeah.
Alexis is just like, you're a whore. Like, freaks out. And everyone's like, calm down. Alexis, calm down. Let's sit down. And then Alexis like, okay, how about never have I ever bullied a girl until she committed suicide? And here's the thing. At this moment, I was like, is Alexis really dead? Like,
what is happening?
is she a ghost?
Yeah.
Like, is that Scar, like, how she died? Like, this is what I'm thinking, because I'm, like, wanting it to be better than it is. And no. Basically, there was a girl named Kelsey that wanted to be their friend, and Danielle convinced everyone to pick on Kelsey to the point where she killed herself. But this is the part I'm fuzzy on, because, like, they do, like, a flashback, but it's so fast.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, they're in the bed, like, they're upstairs in Alexis's bathroom, and I guess Kelsey like breaks something and like cuts her face.
See, that's where I was kind of confused too, because it's like in that, I don't know if it's a bathroom or that bedroom, but there's like this window that comes into play later.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's like Kelsey hurt her, or if she was trying to help her, or if Danielle did something to Kelsey and she, quote, killed herself, or if like she really did kill herself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that part I didn't totally get either. Just because the flashes were so quick. Like, it wasn't like a full replay kind of thing.
Yeah, they didn't give you very much backstory.
Yeah.
But the backstory seemed very important, because this will then, for the rest of the movie, be everyone's main focus.
Yes.
So Danielle is like, I didn't do that. No, I didn't do that. And this is where, like, Alexis lets everyone know. And it kind of seems like Danielle never did anything to Alexis. It seems like she was kind of the one person that was free from it. But I guess Danielle called Chloe like a fat whore.
Mm-hmm.
And she made fun of Kayla for being, because Kayla, you find out that she's a lesbian and that she has a girlfriend, and Danielle's like, oh, good for you. But like, it seemed a little tense.
Yeah.
And the reason is because I guess she used to call her like an ugly lesbian, which I'm like, what kind of friend is that? Like, why would you be friends with her at all?
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah. So then midnight.
So then, yeah, because essentially like midnight happens and Alexis just tackles the shit out of Danielle, like basically knocks the wind out of her by slamming her on the floor, and then just pours a shit ton of champagne over her.
Mm-hmm.
And then they tie her to a chair with the Mylar balloons that Danielle even was like, these are really nice. You guys did a good job of finding them. I was like, wait a second. They tied her to the chair with ribbon.
Right.
Girl, you're not trying hard enough. Alexis was like, you promised you'd do this. And they like tie her up, and they basically try to get her to confess to her people. But that's not what ends up happening. What ends up happening is that she's basically like, I was complicit when people made fun of her, and she ended up killing herself. And that's the guilt I have to live with. That's the sin I have to like work through. And Alexis is like, fuck this shit. So Kayla is like, I'm out. She goes and calls her girlfriend Frankie, and they have a talk, and Frankie's just like, something seems wrong. But she's like, Kayla's like, I'm just going to go to bed, and I'll like leave in the morning because I can't, because my car's broke down. So Alexis goes to check on Kayla. And while she's gone, Danielle starts talking to Chloe. And it's basically like, you know, Chloe, because Chloe like is a fangirl. Like she loves everything. She wants the fame. She wants the accolades. She wants all that stuff. Danielle sees this, and she's just like, you know, Chloe, I'm going to be on TV, and they need someone to take my spot on this YouTube channel. I could pitch it so that you get it. You could come to LA with me, and you could stay with me for a long time, and we could work on your pitch and get everything perfect. And then we'll just like get you in there. And Chloe's like, yeah, I want that. I don't want to live in my house with my mom who's sick and dying. And apparently I don't give a fuck because I'm just going to give everything up to go be with Danielle. So Chloe switches sides and she unties Danielle. And when they come back in the room, she's playing around with the ribbons and Alexis is like, what are you doing? She's like, I was tightening her restraints. It's like, with balloon ribbons? Come on. They start talking and she basically, oh, I forgot. Before this, she puts all the shit on Danielle's face to make her look like the Joker.
Yeah, that was creepy.
And I think it was like all the shit that Danielle had given them.
Yeah, because she's like all these samples and like, here's this beauty stuff. Da 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 da. Yeah.
Right. And then then Danielle breaks free and her and Alexis start fighting, but Danielle knocks her the fuck out by hitting her head against the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And then Alexis and Kayla wake up and they're in the sauna and they're trapped.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, I'm pretty sure that saunas are supposed to have like an emergency button on the inside.
Right.
And so then Danielle and Chloe are upstairs and they're talking. And Danielle's like, so this is our plan. We're going to wait 2 or 3 hours. And then we're going to call the cops and tell them that we were downstairs watching a movie and they got trapped in the sauna and we just didn't know and that they died on accident. And Chloe's like, died? I thought we were just going to scare them. But then Chloe, like Danielle teaches her to say like, nothing gets in the way of my desires. Nothing stands in the way of my desires. She's like, just say that over and over again. So then Danielle's thinking, okay, we just got to wait them out. Well, what ends up happening is that Kayla finds the champagne bottle from earlier and breaks the window and they get out. And then Chloe and Danielle run around with knives trying to capture them. They hide in a closet.
Of course. Upstairs.
Right, upstairs. Because they can't get out because they try to get out, but Danielle took the key because it's the weird thing about this house. Like you can't open the front door unless there's a key in the door.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Makes zero sense.
Yeah.
So Danielle has the key. They try to go out the front door. They can't. They try to go out the garage, but Danielle and Chloe cut them off. How they get away was my favorite part is that Kayla just like reared back and kicked her. Like it was either Kayla or Alexis. I can't remember which one. She's like reared back and kicked Chloe like square in the chest.
Oh yeah, it was Kayla.
and you just hear Chloe go, ugh, and then like hit the ground and they're just like panting and Danielle's like, get up. And I'm like, really? That's rude.
Right.
Like she just got kicked in the chest. And so this is when they run upstairs and they hide in the closet. Of course, Alexis is like, I'm going to go get my phone and I'm going to call the cops. And Kayla's like, no, don't go.
Yeah.
But Alexis still goes. And at this point, we'll just talk about the rest of Kayla's storyline. So she's hiding there and Chloe comes upstairs and Chloe's in the room with her. Kayla gets out of the closet and is like, Chloe, it's me. It's your friend. We love each other. Like, like it's fine. We'll just go and we'll let, and Chloe's like, nothing's going to stand in the way of my future. And they get into a fight and she like goes, she says she goes to grab her, but it looks like she fucking just punches her.
Yeah, she hit her.
Yeah, and then her head hits the counter and then she's dead.
Yeah.
Just dead.
She like got hit in the temple and then it was hard enough. It busted her skin a little bit and then she was just dead.
Sitting on the floor, eyes wide open.
Yep.
Chloe's distraught and is like, oh my God, I don't know where she is. And then there's the knock at the door. And the knock at the door is our now dearly deceased friend Kayla's girlfriend. So Frankie's at the door and is like, hey, Kayla called. She was really upset. And then I've been trying to call her and she hasn't answered. So I'm worried. And they're like, oh, it's fine. She just went to sleep. You know her. Like when she hits the pillow, she just goes hard. And Frankie's like, yeah, she's like dead when she sleeps. And I was like, oh,
she is dead.
She's dead. And then like they'd come up with this plan that they were going to kill Frankie and then just say like that Frankie killed her and that they killed Frankie out of like self-defense. Chloe just stabs her in the chest, like under her heart, like just boop. I was like, oh, cool. Just killing people.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, Alexis has tried to get the key and the knife, but has been unsuccessful and then is running around.
With a huge gash in her calf. That's like ridiculous.
Oh, Yeah, Danielle cut her in the calf. So she gets upstairs, right? And she gets into this room and she finds a golf club. And then she's like, I'm going to take her out. And she comes in and she's like, they're at the top of the stairs. And Chloe and Danielle are coming up the stairs. And Alexis is like, I have my golf club, and tries to hit her, but ends up hitting Chloe instead of Danielle. And then she rolls down the stairs and breaks her neck. And then Danielle and Alexis start fighting. And then they end up in the room that Tara mentioned earlier with the window.
Mm-hmm.
There's also this other part I forgot to mention earlier. In the beginning of the movie, Danielle's phone gets thrown across the room and hits a window, and they thought the window was going to shatter. But then Chloe says that Alexis's parents had the house like sealed after the accident, which is of Kelsey, quote unquote, falling out the window, but killing herself.
Mm-hmm.
So as they're upstairs and they're fighting, the window keeps getting cracked and cracked and cracked to the point where it's going to give.
Mm-hmm.
Alexis takes advantage of this and throws Danielle out the window into the pool. And from my angle, it looked like she just landed in the pool. From the second story, which in my opinion, worst case, she's got a broken leg, but apparently has now killed herself enough, maybe hit herself on the side of the pool, and is now filling the pool up with her blood.
So I don't know if the blood thing's legit, but I know after a certain amount of feet that's not as high as you think, hitting water from a certain distance is like hitting concrete. So it is possible it could kill her. It may not be from a second-story building. It might be a third-story building, but that's a thing. But I think that's what they were going for. But they're in this bougie-ass house, so who knows how high up they were.
But like the angle, it looked like it was a second story.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like, this movie is ridiculous and not realistic, but this is just the angle they're going.
Right. But her also, to like, for me, like her arms went in first. So like she would have broke her arms.
Yeah.
So she's dead and she's bleeding out into the pool, like a shit ton of blood. And it's like her little bun is like twirling around in the blood. And then it just cuts to Alexis's new life, which she's taken Danielle's place. They're like, we're so saddened to say that our dear beloved Danielle Williams died. And they cut to Alexis, who is like, they're like, this is Alexis. This is her best friend. And tell us what happened. And she's like, our friend Kayla, her lover attacked us because Danielle convinced Kayla that she needed someone who loved her.
Stole the story. Yeah, stole the story they were going to use.
Right. Which is why I'm going to teach you about self-defense and how to make homemade pepper spray.
Ugh.
And then they talk about that, and then it's the end.
Yeah. And it's like so creepy how it's just like obviously so fake that she was grieving, quote, quote. So, yeah.
Oh my God, when she was like, I'm sad.
And then
And then let's make pepper spray. I was like, oh, dear Jesus.
Right. God.
No.
So that's the adventure of New Year, New You.
Mm-hmm.
But I was reading something, like I didn't go into the full article. I guess I don't know if it's the director or the writer or whatever. I guess they wanted, in an interesting way to do it, to like show the dark side of social media and stuff, or like the dark side of it being an influencer and shit. And I was just like, okay.
I mean, are you calling influencers out as murderers?
Right? I was like, I don't think they're all murderers, but whatever you say.
It also should be said that there were only like 8 actors in this whole movie. It was the 4 main characters. It was the little girl. That's 5. It was the girl who played Frankie and the girl who played the YouTuber and then the girl who played Kelsey in the flashbacks. That's it. There's only like 8 people in this whole movie.
Crazy.
And it was 84 minutes long. I mean, I would give it like, out of 5, I'd give it like 2.5 stars. Like, it was not like, I don't feel like I was robbed of time. I just have a lot of plot holes.
Mm-hmm. And they've definitely made a lot better in this, like, Into the Dark series or whatever it's called. They've made a lot better movies than this one. So
I just think it's interesting because the girl who plays Kayla is on the show The Good Place, and she's Australian.
Oh, okay.
And then the girl who plays Danielle was on this show that I used to like called The Burbs.
I thought she looked familiar. I've probably watched it.
Yeah. It's like one of my favorite shows because it's like the douchebag from Clueless,
Mm-hmm.
the guy that she tries to set up her friend with,
Yeah.
but then ends up like hitting on her and then leaving her in a parking lot. It's that actor
Oh.
who looks, you know how like you like actors change and you're like, oh, like you don't recognize them,
Yeah.
like Jennifer Grey, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
I was like watching it and I was like, why does he look familiar? And then I did IMDb and they were like, he's in Clueless. I'm like, who the fuck was he in Clueless? And then I was like, oh yeah, I get that. And then I'm trying to think of the girl who's the main character. She's this little redheaded girl. But basically the premise of that show is that they move from like New York to the suburbs. And this girl is like the queen, the girl who plays Danielle
Mm-hmm.
is like the queen of the suburb school and is like the rich girl. So,
Gotcha.
yeah. Well, that's all we have for you today.
Bye, guys.
Bye.